Hi, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. Yesterday, I was on the Voice America show, Libertarians Working for You, with its host, Arvind Vora, who's also the vice chairman of the Libertarian Party's National Committee. It was a wonderful show. He asked me specifically about two issues that I was most passionate about, and what I told him was scaling back and rolling back the abhorrent military-industrial complex and our foreign interventions that cost so much in blood and lives and money, and also the Federal Reserve, which is equally abhorrent but in different ways. Those are the two cornerstone issues of most libertarian politics. However, there's lots of other issues too, and he brought a few of them up, but there's education and the size and scope of the rest of the federal government, entitlement programs, campaign corruption, a variety of different things, marijuana legalization. There's a ton of issues that are addressed and are of major interest to different people in the Libertarian Party. People that might agree on some things, disagree on other things, or not really disagree, but certain points of emphasis. Like we have a number of members who are really interested in marijuana legalization, for one thing, or maybe more people interested in abolishing the Fed, or more people interested in getting rid of the corruption in politics. Whatever it might be, people have their pet issues. But one way that the Libertarian Party is different than other parties is that no matter what issue you take up that is addressed in libertarian politics, it always leads back to the same core principle, and that people have the right to their life, their liberty, and their property to conduct their affairs as they choose, as long as they don't interfere with the affairs and the rights of others to do the same thing. As I watch and listen to the current state of Republican and Democrat politics, especially in this presidential campaign, it's shocking in that it really has laid bare the idea that there's no principles whatsoever that guide the the Republican and Democrat parties anymore. You can have candidates run that are so far apart on core issues as Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, as well as on the GOP side, people that are so far apart on principles and basic core ideas of the role of government and the identity and the rights of the human being as Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. That's probably why they're having so much strife, so much adversity, so many problems, so much anger and hate and fear in those particular nominating processes, because people are so far apart. They feel like, how could Donald Trump be part of the Republican Party? Some people feel, and Hillary Clinton just said the other day that Bernie Sanders might not really be a Democrat. They're claiming that one and the other isn't qualified to be president based on this various criteria. It's pretty ridiculous, actually, but it has exposed something that's very, very important for those of you out there who are trying to figure out how to vote and who to support going forward. And that is that the Libertarian Party has a set of principles. It's in our platform. It even goes back to the basic idea that people are happiest and most productive when they're free and have their privacy and have control over their own lives, and that they will act well and continue to help their communities thrive and help their fellow man, their fellow families, etc. That society won't completely fall apart if people are given freedom, which they have and deserve, and etc., as opposed to Democrats and Republicans who are just a collection of issues at odds with each other on various things, and actually more and more in agreement about things, and things that they will talk about that they're in agreement with, like bombing the crap out of the Middle East, things that they won't talk about that they're in agreement with, like continuing the Federal Reserve's policy of taking money from us and giving it to banks. Both the parties are in favor of that for obvious reasons. So when you look at your options, don't consider the Libertarian Party as merely a third party, another alternative like the Green Party or the Constitution Party, because what we're really about is a basic principle, the non-aggression principle, and the idea that you should be able to live your life as you choose as long as you don't interfere with others' right to do the same thing. And when you take that idea, that lens, and look through that lens at the Republican and Democrat parties, you'll see that they're just two sides of one big mess. Now, I know I've talked about this before. This is not news. This is not a news flash in my series of now, I think, 149 daily videos. But it bears repeating, because every day when you look at the mess that is the nominating processes for Republicans and Democrats, it's so abundantly clear that what they're lacking is principle. What they have is a dedication and a commitment to their party's existence, to the group itself, not as it represents people, but just the party organization itself, and to those donors who fund those campaigns. That's where their loyalties lie and what's most important to them. What they don't have is a core set of principles that can exist throughout time, can be applied to issues in any age, and that is basic liberty. You can take that core idea and apply it to any issue from ancient history through any scenario you can imagine in the future, and you can apply it and come up with answers that every libertarian will agree with. And that is the beauty of it, that it's about people and how people are happiest and most productive. Not about money, not about power. Just the opposite, as a matter of fact. Thanks, and I will talk to you tomorrow.